a second special session to order. At this time, can I ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silence? Thank you. At this time, I recognize the clerk to take roll.
Chairman Manglonya Donald,
Present.
Senator Manglonya Paul, Senator Mendiola Dennis,
Here.
Representative Ogo Julie.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have 3 members present, 1 member absent.
Thank you, clerk. With 3 members present, that constitutes a quorum to conduct today's session. And with that, we move on to the next item on the agenda, and which is public comment. So at this time, as you make your way to the microphone, please state your name for the record, and inform the members which item on the comment for. Floor is now open.
Good afternoon. This August body, the Rota delegation, in the beginning from Senator Donald M. Manglonya, Representative Julie Marie Ogo, and Senator Dennis James Mendiola. Welcome to Rota. First of all, my name is Oscar P. Kidagwa. I'm a retired Rota High School principal, and at the same time, I was also an educator prior to becoming a principal. I come here to support my daughter, and of course, there's always in mind a natural instinct that daughter and father is a conflict of interest. You may be looking into that, but not conflict in knowledge. So I'm here to support her because I have the momentum of having this daughter of mine that she progressively being very professional and knowledgeable of her uh, work and every environment. And I am very pleased that with that, the nomination from the mayor, I applauded the mayor of Rota for having or being nominated as board member for uh, Rota's Municipal Scholarship Foundation. In lieu with that, I highly supported her because as being the father himself, I knew and nurtured them from the beginning, and I've been seeing their educational and professional growth in any field, as well as being involved in community-wide. And that's how I believe that we also are members of very professional and educated as what I have been taught them. And I'm pleased again for her nomination. And in relation with that, also her other co-nominee, Tonica, I knew her very well. She was my student at one time during my high school teaching, and I believe she can do the job. These people are you know very much well aware of their profession and understand the knowledge of their profession, and I am applauding them also, or rather her from the mayor's nominee. Without further ado, again, I would like to extend congratulations to them, and likewise, I am in support all of them for confirmation, and I thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Kirigwa. Floor is still open.
Good afternoon, everybody. 2 years of Rota Delegation. And first, I will be very grateful to say thank you to our Mayor, Miss Aubrey Hawcock, for the selection of my daughter, Tonica Barcinas. Thank you, Mayor. And with Tonica, as I'm the mother, I know that she has the qualification and the knowledge to take the responsibility of the municipal scholarship from Rota. And I know she can do the job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can you, just for the record, can you please state your name? Auntie Francis.
My name is Mrs. Francisca Barcinas. I'm a retired government employee too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Bersinas. The floor is still open. Going once.
Hello. Excuse me. Half a day Rota delegation. My name is Jermaine Chloe Yalong, and I'm here to speak in in support of Miss Tonica Barcina. So I was actually a member of the Forge Club for over 4 years now, and she has been my advisor throughout this time. And I would just like to support her and really express how much growth that she has given me as a youth and as an individual in the Rota community. She has really played a really fundamental impact on, I guess, how I've developed and how I've learned to grow as a youth leader here. She has allowed me to be more confident, more supportive, and I always feel like Miss Tonica always gives the impression, as especially for the youth, that she's always there for them, which is why I feel that this is a really good opportunity for her to be a part of this position. I feel like this is very appropriate, and this is one of the things that us youth in the CNMI as well as in the Forge organization is really proud of her for that, and I feel like she would be the perfect individual for this position. And I'd like to say thank you to her again, and my well of support for her is unbounding. So I think this is a really amazing opportunity for her, and I'm so proud of her for everything that she's done for us as youth and for the community as well. So thank you, Ms. Tanaka.
Thank you, Ms. Yalong. Floor is still open. All right. If there's none, we now close the public comment portion of the agenda. And at this time, we move on to the next item, and I recognize our floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to adopt Rota Legislative Delegation Journal Number 2303. So move.
All right, motion was made and seconded. Discussion on the motion? Ready? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Under item D, introduction of local resolutions, there's none. Item E, messages from the governor. We have one. I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one governor's communication, number 2305. Signing Thulo House Local Bill number 2307, draft 1, to appropriate $52,500 of the Rota poker license fees account, specifically under BU 3202 and for other purposes. Signing to local law number 2305.
Thank you, Clerk. Members, discussion on Governor's communication? I just want to make some clarification. So that Rota local law, which was recently signed, provides, again, 17,000 to the mayor's office to pay for employees that were unfunded in the last administration. I hope that the office have already begun working with finance to start getting that process. Additionally, it provides 20,700 to the medical subsistence allowance. I know our patients, our recipients have been calling finance and inquiring on this. It's still being worked on. It's still being entered. Hopefully, we can get it out. If not the end of this week, then it can be worked on next week. So please, we ask for your patience. It is at finance now. The money's there, and so we're working to get that process. Additionally, we provided funding to the DCCA, Rota Manamco, so that they can participate in events in concert with. I know there were plans for them to have something for the Manamco month, but due to the storm, those plans have been changed, and so that money is available for the aging center. Additionally, we appropriated 5,000 to the delegation for the sole purpose of funding for meals for those military personnel who will be coming down next month to provide free services to our people. And so that money will be used to help pay for some of their meals expense as part of our contribution to their efforts in providing free services to our people, which include eye exams, dental, veterinarian services, and the like. And so if it's not out yet, I'm sure the mayor's office will disseminate that information. That's all I have. Members, any other comments on that message? I recognize Rep. Julie.
Thank you, Chairman. So I just want to extend our sincerest appreciation to Governor Arno Palacios for signing this into law and expediting without further delay. So thank you, Governor, and thank you again.
All right, any other member? If not, we move on to the next item, messages from the mayor. I recognize the clerk.
Mr. Chairman, there is one. Mayor's communication number 2308, nominating Ms. Tanica S. Barcinas and Mrs. Valerie Q. Apatang to serve as board members for Rota Municipal Scholarship Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, clerk. Members, discussion. Recognize floor leader.
Thank you, Chair. At this time, I'd like to offer a motion to dissolve the committee of the whole to entertain the mayor's communication 2308, to entertain the nomination of Ms. Tanica Barcinas and Ms. Valerie Kirigua for the municipal scholarship. So move.
All right, motion was made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. We are now dissolved into committee of a whole, and at this time, may I invite the mayor along with the nominees to please join us up in the table. And at this time, I would like to recognize Mayor Aubrey Holcomb.
Thank you, Chairman Manglonian. Good afternoon, Chairman and honorable members of our Rota legislative body. Welcome back home. For the record, my name is Aubrey Holcook, Mayor of Rota, and it is my sincerest appreciation, and I'm very happy and proud to be here before you and the members of our community to proudly present Mrs. Valerie Kirigua Apatang and Ms. Tanica S. Barcinas to serve, or who are my nominees to serve as the members of the Rota Municipal Scholarship Board. Mrs. Valerie Apatang presently serves as the program coordinator for the Office of the Aging. She served as a former civil service commissioner, census enumerator, and was a former employee of the CNMI public school system. She received her Associates of Arts degree in Human Services Management from the University of Phoenix. Ms. Tonica Esparcinas is presently the 4-H program coordinator at the NMC CREES. She received her Bachelor of Science in Communication from the University of Phoenix, Arizona. She served as a former educator for our children at the CNMI public school system. These two women have proven themselves to be capable and reliable in their management of their duties in their respective capacities. These two individuals are well-respected professionals in our small community, and I have full confidence that they would be able to perform the task at hand and to contribute to the goals of the board with exemplary performance. And with this, I would like to express my full confidence again in these individuals' abilities to carry out the necessary tasks required to contribute positively to the success of the board's goals and objectives. Therefore, I would like to solicit for your favorable decision to confirm my nominees to serve our community in this capacity. They would be a great asset to the Rota Municipal Scholarship Board and would advocate for our students to ensure that they get the assistance they need to fulfill their post-secondary education goals, to become professionals, and to hopefully return to service and serve our island of Rota. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, if any of the nominees would like to provide any statement, this will be your opportunity. If otherwise, we can begin with any questions that members may have. Okay, with that, I now open the floor to any of the members if they would like to ask any questions. Recognize Representative Julie.
Thank you, Chairman, and congratulations on your nominee, Valerie, Miss Valerie Kiruga Apatang and Tonica Barcinas. Can you just share a little bit of your, I know the mayor has shared your background, but my question is, what is your goal and objective if confirmed by the delegation? What can you offer or bring to the Municipal Scholarship Board? You can start with Tonica. I'm sorry, Valerie, Miss Valerie.
Well, thank you for that question, Congresswoman. At the present time, we have not joined any body, but for whatever that we are being nominated for of the position, we would try our best to serve our students who are currently going to school online to fulfill their, their associate or bachelor's degree, or if by all means master's. I'm not too sure. I have not seen any of the rules and regulations of or the bylaws of the Rota Municipal Scholarship Foundation, but I promise to work diligently and help our people in our community. Thank you.
Good afternoon, delegates. So this is my first time, but to be honest, upon selection or confirmation for this position, being my first time, I am willing to work hard and learn, and also work closely with the mayor of Rota as well as the legislature for Rota, and maybe even others who on Saipan and Tinian, and see how we can work together and maybe provide assistance and available funding available for scholarships, since working from the college, I have access to grants where scholarships may be available for our students, or even adults, right? Because we have older adults who are also continuing their or furthering their education. So just like Ms. Valerie Apatang mentioned, we are going to work together. We're going to work hard, and we're going to make sure that we fulfill our role in this position. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So I appreciate the fact that, you're going to be expanding, as far as, looking up for grants and other means of funding to, for this foundation, because as you know, we're very limited on, appropriating money for this organization. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Rep. Julie. I recognize Floor Leader.
Thank you, Chairman. So I don't really have a question, but I just really have a statement and maybe something that you guys can take, being that this is really your first nomination, and you guys have just stated that you guys have not looked into some of the bylaws, policies. So I just like to make a statement. And first of all, congratulations, and thank you for accepting the nomination. It's always a blessing when we have people from our municipality that are willing to take that next challenge, given the amount of the compensation that this comes with. I'm sure it's not hefty, but it shows already character, it shows diligence and willingness to try and help propel our great Rota forward. So thank you for that, Mayor. Thank you for your appointment. Um, just something to look at maybe, and I was just sharing this with the chairman. I'm not too sure maybe on legality or if it possesses or poses conflict, but more on just like a point system on scholarship, trying to create a point system where to try and sustain our workforce or our students that we give scholarship to. How do we avail to their expertise and their knowledge, and how do we bring them back and sustain that? Maybe working on a point system with OPM or any other government entity that does any personnel action that opens positions, especially for the municipality alone. Maybe like a point system where it gives them a little bit more of a point up a few points to when it comes to selection, just based on availing to the scholarship and then wanting to return home. I'd like for you guys to just look into that. Like I said, I'm not sure if it might be a conflict in it. I'm not too sure, but nonetheless, the goal is to just try and retain these people that go and avail to higher education. So we'd like to bring those talent back home and maybe help push our municipality forward. So that's my statement. I yield for now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, floor leader. So before we begin, I just want to give a little background information. I know we have uh, quite a bit of people in the audience as well as for streaming live, but just a little history. So the only funding that goes into the scholarship comes from poker fees. Whenever a poker machine gets renewed, the license fee is split in half. Half goes to the scholarship, and then the other half is for the delegation to use to provide for operational expense or whatever activities for the Commonwealth. And so, sometimes they make when they say that this person is playing poker and stuff like that, we get all these discussions. It's like, um, you know, that's what pays for students to go to school. And so, what I'm hoping to get out of this, or hoping to relay to the nominees, is, if confirmed, maybe look at other avenues of how we can continue to sustain this program. Because if these poker establishments shut down, that's the end of the funding for our students. And so with the current law, it allows for the scholarship board to come up with other alternatives. It could be fundraising, it could be trying to secure a loan with MPOT and whatnot. And so that's one of the recommendations that I would like to propose, as well as looking at the CNMI scholarship program, where they require students to come back and provide their service, not necessarily pay back the loans, but maybe for those who go off into college and you award them with the Rota Municipal Scholarship funds. One of the requirements could also be to return back and just provide service to the community of Rota. And if they don't come back, then that award becomes a loan, and then that they would have to pay that back into the municipality, and that could be used to fund further investments. There are several powers that the board has that I don't think has been exercised in the past. If you go to the cnmilaw.org under administration, or under CNMI law, go to Title 10, you'll have the local law on the scholarship, and it has a long list of powers of the board. I know that the mayor's letter also included a request for personnel, and part of the law, I believe, allows for the board to decide how to spend some of the funds that we appropriate to hire an executive director. And so this is something that could possibly be used to pay for a full-time staff. Again, depending on availability of funds. So I hope that's something that you can consider. It also, and so maybe if I could ask one question, is if confirmed, what are some of your ideas in how we can maybe generate revenue or plans to whether it be to improve the program or to change in regards to how it's currently being managed?
Thank you for that question, Senator. Well, I've come to realize that since Senator Mendola mentioned about the loan program of how, or even you mentioned, Senator Maglonia, about the loan program of the CNMI scholarship, we would have to work and look into the bylaws on how to be able for our people to come back and work. And if not, if they don't come back to serve, then we would have a loan program where they will pay back. And then the other thing is to find funding sources. Then we can ask maybe for donations. There are a lot of companies out there that are giving donations, so we can solicit in that. Like what Ms. Tanaka said earlier, we can work on grants to keep the foundation moving, keep going on. So there are many ways, and we just have to think outside the box on finding a stable funding for this foundation. Thank you.
I just want to add on to Mrs. Apateng. So let me give you an example. So because I work with the NMC Family, Community, and Youth Development, right? So every year we send 4-H students to the 4-H National Conference, and most of the time our funding is very short. So this year in April we sent 7 delegates, which included all scholarship opportunities from the New Mexico University. So our program can only pay two students. So we had total of about, I'm not sure, I think 9. So 7 is paid for by scholarship, and then 2 from our program. So I think my point of this is maybe try to reach out to other maybe universities or colleges abroad, and not just within the CNMI, because as we all know, we're all struggling with money, right? And our economics is not that up to par, right? So I think for me, I guess just reaching out to larger schools and universities, and how we can maybe collaborate and see what works on our community to I see kind of like modify it, I guess, to our um pace. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think that's a way that for a scholarship, being a scholarship board, we can also work out, like kind of solicit to other universities. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for those responses. And I appreciate some of the recommendations you provided. One thing that I also wanna suggest is that, as you come together and you look at ways to improve the program, but also try to bring in um, investments. I know we just met with the casino commission this morning, but the casino industry is also supposed to be one of the sources of funding that would fund scholarships. One thing I want to bring up also, and that maybe agencies are aware, because normally we get these requests for funding for training opportunities, but in accordance with Title 10, Division 1, Section 107, the board is authorized to use scholarship or grant monies from the fund to provide job skills training and career development for Commonwealth and Rota municipal government workers whose duty station is on Rota. So, in understanding about that statute, many agencies they want to grow professionally, and so as you meet, these are some of the things that you can also consider: is how can you provide professional development opportunities for our people. So the scholarship not only does it fund education, it funds training in the sense that we can grow our workforce through that. So I hope that's something that you looked into, because it's not something that we've seen in the past several years since this has been established. Uh, and so, for the record, I've worked with both Ms. Sonica and Ms. Valerie Apatang at PSS. So I understand their capabilities and their professional and personal work ethic, and so I fully support their nomination. And thank you, Mayor, for putting up individuals that understand the space in regards to scholarship and supporting our students and to continue to support our students. Any other members? At this time, I recognize floor leader.
So I was actually trying to just speed this up because, like you said, Mr. Chairman, we've worked with this individual and we're actually familiar of their capability. So, but for formality and making sure that we ask probing questions to ensure that our community hear some of the goals and how you guys respond. We're going through this motion, but I'd like to hear about our information technology and how it's evolved and how we can avail to that with just in terms of scholarship. Um, I know that scholarship, for example, for me going to school, I've never been aware that there was a scholarship for Rota. So I've actually looked for scholarship elsewhere. But had I known that there was scholarship, maybe or there was a scholarship program, maybe I could just avail to this program. So I just like to see how we can just probably link that and just be more maybe informative to our people on the availability and what's the threshold, I'd like to hear you guys on that matter.
For me, if we want to upgrade more in IT, then we would hire an individual that can promote the foundation and will be able to mass inform the students of what are the goals and objectives of this foundation. So, thank you.
That's okay. But actually, so I like that response. Knows that really what we're trying to say is we gotta build our workforce too, and through that we can actually start pushing the message out there. Because of course you guys are bored. You guys meet only for certain matters to discuss. Let's say availability of funds and who are the applicants that can avail to this. So I like that you mentioned about maybe you know in the future probably getting an employee where that's the focus is just having a tracker, making sure that information is getting pushed out. I'm sure that the mayor is really, your staff is really busy with everything else, and to add this is just unreal. So I just wanted to point that out. So thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. I yield for now.
Any other member? All right. If there's none, at this time, will any of the nominees like to provide any closing remarks or anything else that you would like to mention that wasn't discussed?
I just want to say thank you to the Honorable Mayor Aubrey Holcook for my nomination. I'm humble and grateful that she has selected me, and I am, if selected, will be working closely with her as well as her team and Ms. Apateng. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. At this time, I recognize the floor leader so that we can rise back in.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I offer a motion to rise back to our today's agenda. So move.
All right. Motion was made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. We are now back in session, and before us, we have, again, Mayor's Communication 23-08 for the nomination of Ms. Tanika S. Barcinas and Mrs. Valerie Apateng to serve as board members for the Rota Municipal Scholarship Foundation. At this time, we will call roll to accept communication, and by accepting communication, that will hereby confirm the nominees to the commission board. And so I recognize the clerk to take roll.
Senator Mendiola,
Yes.
Representative Fogo,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, all three members voted yes.
Thank you, clerk. With all three members voting in the affirmative, mayor's communication is hereby accepted and nominees are hereby confirmed. At this time, we'll take short recess. recess, and right before recess, we just confirmed the two nominees for the Rota Municipal Scholarship Foundation. Next up on the agenda, we have messages from Municipal Council. There's none. Reports of communications from heads of department and agencies. There's none. House communications, we have none. Senate communications, I recognize clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have one, Senate Communication 2309.
Thank you, clerk. Any discussion from the members? If none, we move on to the next item, delegation matters. I recognize the clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have two delegation matters, number 2317 and 2318.
Thank you, clerk. Members, discussion? Ready, none. Item N, reports of committee, there's none. Unfinished business, none. Resolution calendar, we have none. Bill calendar, we have none. There's nothing under miscellaneous business, or at this time, I open the floor for miscellaneous business. Members? Any announcements? None. At this time, I recognize floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I offer a motion to adjourn today's session or delegation session. So move.
All right, motion was made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. This session is hereby adjourned at 1:46 p.m.